Defect Levels Handbook. What the FDA report holds inside is a margin of just how many rodent hairs, maggots, and a number of other filthy things that are allowed in what we consume. Just about anything that we eat is found in this report. So if you don't want to know what furry creature or gross insect could be in your pantry, we'll understand.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like innocence is something you want to hold on to. You really don't want to learn these kinds of things that are going to make you just think about whatever you're eating, drinking, consuming at any given time. I remember when I was a kid, like somebody was telling me that like there's all sorts of like bug parts in your peanut butter, you know. But that I can kind of look past because it's just extra protein. But yeah, like I don't know if I necessarily want to think about all the little rat toes that touched my my goldfish before I ate them. I don't want to think about maggots and mold while I'm consuming an apple or a banana. FDA, I love what you do, but yeah, I'll leave that to the professionals, and I'm gonna live my life in ignorance. Mwah. Oh, I know about this one. A small subreddit where the user may click on a link and have a 50-50 chance of witnessing something sweet and innocent or something extremely grotesque. Yes, this is one I've scrolled through and I've never clicked on anything because I am just not down to be taken by surprise. It's like, yeah, they get like a hamburger or like a degloved arm. You get like a baby bunny or like a massive car wreck with all of the, you know, people still in their cars turned into paste, you know? Like it's something else. And it's one of those things where it's like, why would you even want to do that? You know, it's like you're gonna click on this thing and like give yourself like secondary trauma for like witnessing that. You know, you're gonna hurt your brain by taking in some of these like despicable things when you assumed it would be much nicer. Hello everybody and welcome back to Top 10 Central Dark, your place for all things horror. I'm your host Keegan Hughes and these are Scary Things You Should Never Google, Part 2. I'm sure some of you will still Google these things, but again, I must implore you, do not. Our editors did all that work for you. And now you can just listen to me ramble on about it. Let's get to it. Lampreys. I love lampreys. Honestly, like as freaky as they are and as much as I would absolutely hate to have one anywhere on my body, they're just so cool. They're just so neat. I remember at the ROM before COVID hit, they had a bloodsuckers exhibit, and I got to learn all about lampreys. I got to see one pressed up against the glass. Although, you know what? The more I think about it, the less cool they are because they are invasive species and they can ruin ecosystems. So actually, lampreys, you're not cool. You're causing a lot more problems than you're worth with your big leechy mouths and many teeth that suck blood. Oh, I hope there's just like plenty of footage of gross lampreys playing over what I'm talking right now. That would be perfect. Really sell the point. What is necrotizing fasciitis? Necrotizing fasciitis is a type of soft tissue infection. It can destroy the tissue in your skin and muscles as well as subcutaneous tissue, which is the tissue beneath your skin. Necrotizing fasciitis is most commonly caused by an infection with group A streptococcus, commonly known as flesh-eating bacteria. This is the fastest moving form of the infection. When the infection is caused by other types of bacteria, it typically doesn't progress as quickly and isn't quite as dangerous. So it sounds pretty painful, pretty gnarly. Oh boy, yeah, it just looks like they are rotting, just rotting people. Don't look that up. It's gross and scary, and I'm sorry to anybody who's ever had to deal with it. Okay, I've actually never seen this. So Ed Gein, famous serial killer, the guy, the inspiration for old Texas Chainsaw over here. I've actually never, like I've read all sorts of stuff. I've seen like images of him and maybe his house, but I've never seen a lot of this stuff up close. So there's a human skull as a bowl. I wonder if he ate Cheerios out of there. Some nice fleshy gloves. It's like human leather gloves. Like, do you think like a human hand glove would fit better than a regular glove because it was already a human hand before and it has those like memory hand properties? Is that a mask that he wore, or is it like a decoration? Is it a piece of pottery? Terrifying. Ed Gein. Yeah, that's something that like, unless you're like ready for that, that's like the kind of like the entrance to the true crime wormhole. You know, you learn about Ed Gein and his house full of human pieces. He only murdered a few people, but he definitely collected a lot of human parts and just made them into things that human parts probably shouldn't be made into. Degloving. Oh, I was talking about degloving before. What is degloving? Also called avulsion, is the type of severe injury that happens when the top layers of your skin and tissue are ripped from the underlying muscle, connective tissue, or bone. It can affect any part of the body, but is most common in the legs. Degloving injuries are often life-threatening because of the large amounts of blood loss and tissue death. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna lose all the skin on one part of your body and just like leave all the blood vessels and muscles and bone exposed, yeah, you're probably in a lot of trouble. You can't just plastic wrap that and go about your day. You gotta get some help immediately. There's a really cool scene in a really bad movie where it's escape room, but not the Sony one. I forget if it was 2017. There's 3 escape rooms that came out around 2017, and I always mix them up. But there's a scene where like noxious gas comes into the room that they're in, and it starts like breaking down their skin and making them melt. And this one guy's arm just gets totally degloved. Like he's like, ah! And it comes right out. Oh, it's so cool. But that's only in movies. It's only cool in movies. And when it happens in real life, that sucks. Calculus bridge. It sounds like the worst math class mixed with a card game old people play. But it looks like something bad happening to teeth. So I wonder what exactly is going on here. It looks like some sort of like film has developed on them and the gums are like super receded. Calculus bridge. Also known as tartar, is a yellowish or white deposit of minerals that forms on the tooth surface as a result of pre-existing plaque that is hardened. So it's just like a lot of stuff building up on your teeth. Brush your teeth. Floss them too, use mouthwash, but don't brush too hard. Make sure you brush in gentle circles, you know? Like you gotta make sure that you're protecting your gums and not scraping your teeth. The more you know. A hairless bear, everyone. There he is, a hairless bear. Google it to your heart's content. I think that's lovely. It looks just terrifying, but I know it's a bear and I know that it's hairless. Who decided to shave a bear one day? Who woke up and said, you know what we should do? We should take our clippers to the bear and just totally remove all of its hair. Like they had a bear in captivity. It probably wasn't too happy about it. You know, bears aren't the best pets. And then they decided to shave it. How much you want to bet this happened in Russia? This was something that a Russian individual took on as a personal project, is shaving a bear and showing the world what it looked like. A wet koala? This feels like something you shouldn't Google because like it puts you on a list, you know? Like it's one of those things that like safe search will block you. You do it at school, you get suspended. The FBI keeps like a tally of people who are Googling wet koalas. Like, yeah, all right, well this guy's a psycho. All right, I'm gonna Google it right now. I feel like this first image isn't enough. I need to see if I Google wet koala, what comes up. Oh, just more of the same. Oh, no way. No way, this is a hoax. I Googled it. The reason I shouldn't have Googled it is because I would have found out that this is a hoax. Yeah, the mouth looks kind of ridiculous. It looks like a werewolf mouth or something on it. So this koala isn't actually that terrifying. It just is kind of like disheveled and wet. It's kind of like when you like give your dog a bath, you know? Like what you thought was a big floofy chunk of a mammal is now like this weird like skinny shivering dripping thing. Just doesn't look the same, and then you gotta towel them down and then it looks like a dog again. MH17 aftermath. Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur, shot down in July 2014. It doesn't feel that long ago, does it? Yeah, that's just tragic. That is just something you don't want to hear about that. It's always really sad when that comes up on the news, eh? My goodness. Although I suppose, yeah, it didn't technically disappear like some of the other ones. It was shot down and then discovered. Ay, ay, ay. Tragic. Very tragic. And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you stick around for some bloopers. I know I stumbled a couple times. Maybe made some, off-brand comments here. We'll see. And we'll see you next time. Alright, time for some scary things you should never Google. Part dose. All right. This might actually work better now that we're working from home, just because I remember when we did it in the studio, like we couldn't Google it because we didn't have our computers. All right, let's get to it. Need I say more? I'm not Googling that. No. We're moving on.